Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me and my very special guest. You know her from her stunning Broadway debut in the Steve Martin and Edie Brickell musical Bright Star, and from such shows as Wicked, South Pacific, Sunday in the Park with George, and the upcoming Flying Over Sunset. And tonight, Wednesday, December 2nd, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, she will make her Vegas debut at the Space, Las Vegas, with her brand new concert called Therapy. Please say hello to Carmen Cusack.
Hi. How are you doing?
What's your mug there?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Not planned, I promise you. I was just needed to make some coffee and then I sat it down. I thought, oh my God, this is a lovely fan. Like basically just made this mug and put some of my favorite roles on there. Did you know I was in Hamilton? And of course, yeah, like you said, here you go. There's Elphaba. There's she is. There she is, Alice Murphy. And Sunday apart with George. There you go. There's some of them.
Everyone's going to want that mug. I want that mug. And every fan that's going to be watching this on BroadwayWorld around the world is going to be like, who made that for you?
Isn't that sweet? Well, I asked her for her name and she even made me a poster. I said, can you please sign it? And she was too shy to do it. So it's anonymous. And so anyway, I just want to, hello, my anonymous, lovely fan. Thank you. I'm cherishing your mug.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible. First off, how are you and where are you?
I'm good. Got to count your blessings. I'm staying healthy because I'm wearing my mask.
Did you make that one?
I did. As soon as I got back from New York, we were supposed to open on the very day that New York shut. Flying Over Sunset, the night for the first preview and Broadway shut. So I have one friend that saw the dress rehearsal, the dress run the night before. But that was it. So as soon as I got back, I was just like, I had all this energy, this pent up, show energy, and thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I'm pretty nifty with the sewing machine. So I made just tons and tons of masks. I sent a big box to Birmingham to a medical facility in Alabama. And I needed to get busy with something and I wanted to be productive. So everybody wear your masks. Be safe so we can get on the other end of this and do some live stuff again.
I love that you did that because I was going to ask you, the New York Theater shut down on March 12th. And, you were the last time I saw you was in the rehearsal room for Flying Over Sunset. And, you're in rehearsals, then you go into tech, then you go, you were going to start a preview and you're on this train that keeps riding and your train stopped. It
stopped. And it was the weirdest thing. And, when you're getting ready to go do something, you've been working so hard to do something and your adrenaline and everything, you're ready to explode. And then it just stopped. It was just surreal.
It must have been so weird. But like I said, everybody thought this is going to be like, oh, maybe it'll be 2 weeks. Maybe it'll be a month. A lot of people just went home. And a lot of stars that I've spoken to said, oh, I was able to rest. They were like, I didn't realize how tired I was, just from doing shows. But, you were on a whole different track because you were still rehearsing and getting ready to preview. And you started your first preview. It's so crazy, right?
I wasn't ready to rest. I was ready to go.
Yeah. How have you been dealing with the ongoing pandemic? What has frustrated you the most and what has amazed you the most?
Oh God, technology has frustrated me the most. I've been digging my heels in from the start about, I don't know. I think I need to go take some therapy when it comes to self-publicizing myself because I'm rubbish at Twitter. I'm rubbish at Insta. I'm just rubbish at these things. And I just want to say a big, I am sorry apology to everyone that's always like, why is she, what's going on with Carmen? It's not because I'm trying to be weird or anything. It's just, I'm rubbish at it. I'm so bad at it. And that has been the biggest obstacle. And I'm still working on it. But yeah, I'm going to try and do better. And it's really it makes you have to just acknowledge that is something we have to do. We have to communicate in these other ways. I have had some, the Zoom thing has been great to be able to see so many people all at once, to have people, right there. I celebrated a birthday in April, and I got a surprise Zoom party from that. And it was just really sweet to see so many faces that would never be able to make it to one room, or to one place. So it's been hard at times with being so closed up with just another person. My husband, thank God we get along, but we've had our ups and downs. Come on, I mean, you know what I'm saying? To be like 24/7. And it's been a roller coaster ride. And some days I'll be like, turn on the radio and just want to jump around and dance like a crazy person. And then other days I'm just like, I can't take it. Can't take another day. Just wanted to, I don't know, jump off my balcony.
Everybody's like that. Everyone has really, really great days, and then a cloudy day. And then I just put on an MGM musical or something. Seriously. All right. That's what I do. I go into this, YouTube and put on Ann Miller or Cheetah Rivera or someone. I'm like, okay, now I feel better.
Music has been my therapy. So that's why I call the show therapy.
Yeah. How many years have you and your husband been married?
And that's so great because tomorrow is our 9-year anniversary.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah. And we're still together. We're still holding strong. And actually, this quarantine, if you can get through something like this, you can get through anything, I think, is it with your partner. It's just, and we've learned a lot about each other.
Well, my husband and I are 42 years.
Oh my God, really?
We've been inseparable.
That is incredible. Congratulations.
It flies by really fast, Carmen, just so you know. It flies by really fast. Even in quarantine, it flies by really fast.
Married for 42 years. What are you talking about?
Yeah, totally. Someone said, what were you, 12 years old? I'm like, no, I wasn't 12. But seriously, I've made every meal. Have you all been cooking in everything? Have you been doing everything yourselves?
No, I wish I could say yes, but no. Sometimes it's just like, oh, let's just get takeaway. Let's just get, but luckily here in LA, everything's like gluten-free and fresh. So we're not so funny about the takeaway here. We actually got sushi in last night because I had a big long rehearsal and Paul had to Zoom a rehearsal Zoom. So we were both busy. Surprisingly enough, we have needed to go in that direction and order takeout once or twice.
Like I said, all we're doing is eating. Everyone's just eating during this time period.
I'm baking a lot. Oh my goodness, I am a sourdough queen now.
Someone else, I had Michael Ball and Alfie Bow on the other day, and Alfie said, Richard, I have cooked bread. I made bread every single day. I said, you have to call it Jean Valjean bread, but he said, all I do is bake bread.
I love it. Jean Valjean bread. I bet that's delicious.
But everyone has perfected something they've made. Like you're the sourdough queen. You're like, I'll make some more sourdough today. I've got 2 hours left. I'll make some bread.
A friend of mine and I went on a social distancing holiday to Joshua Tree. And she got buckets of dye. Yeah. And we covered the back desert yard with just tie-dyeing. Everything we get our hands on, tie-dyeing.
I love tie-dye. Remember tie-dye with the rubber bands?
Yes, that's what we were doing.
Oh my gosh. Now listen, we haven't talked about your concert. I want to get into this. So you're driving, right? From Los Angeles to LA? To Las Vegas?
To Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. So what's that? So how many hours is that? How many hours?
I hope it's only 4. I think it's only 4. We've done it before, but my husband's been driving, but he has to work. He has to stay here and work at Burbank. So it's going to just be me and my lonesome, and my musos are driving themselves. So, it's just going to be a little road trip, social distancing road trip because we're all taking our own cars. I'm kind of looking forward to it. After a while, it's just, 4 walls is enough. And I'm looking forward to just getting out and going for it.
I can imagine. So it's like, have you chosen your costumes and everything else?
Well, I have a couple of options. I think they're going to be either a couple jumpsuit options, maybe a fun T-shirt, good trouble T-shirt. I don't know. I'm still deciding.
Just load it in the car and take it with you. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like my set list. So just still deciding on a few things. It's just going to be all kind of like how I'm feeling in the moment. So you just got to go with how you're feeling on the day sometimes.
Well, we're going to let our audience in on a little secret because this is running the day of your concert, but people are going to be like, how could she be driving tomorrow when her concert is tonight? So we tape this 2 days before so we can get Carmen in her car to drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to make her Vegas debut. I mean, during COVID, you're making your Vegas debut. How cool is that?
That's just, I'm still getting my head around that. What the heck? But it's going to be fun. I've been allowed, luckily, to have a very small audience.
Yeah.
I think approximately 25 people, and so it's just going to be weird. I'm nervous but excited, but also like it's just going to be strange. I'm sure it's going to be very, very interesting. It'll be interesting.
Well, like I said, you work in every medium. You work on stage, on television, and film. So this will be like sort of like you're filming a concert, but you're lucky enough because you're going to have a few social distance. Like I said, for everybody, I'll tell everybody where they can get tickets, but there are a few scattered seats throughout the space. It's a very, very big space. I mean, they've got them all social distance. So at least you'll have someone to play to besides a camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I love a concert situation. Yeah. I love a cabaret setup. I love the intimacy of that. And I feel like the cameras are going to give me that intimacy without all of the, because that can be nerve-wracking to be out there in front of, a lot of people, especially after not doing it for a year. God, This is weird.
Isn't it strange? Well, we want to say that tonight, Wednesday, December 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you kick off your brand new concert called Therapy at the Space in Las Vegas. I mean, how excited are you to actually be doing this, like creating a show during this time period?
It's been really trying to even create a set list has been challenging in a weird way because I have so many things I want to say. There's been so much that has happened this year. I mean, come on. It's just like mind-blowing. And I don't really share my thoughts on social media. I haven't been, but this year I feel like I have to. We all have to share what we're going through. It's necessary. And so, and my way of doing that is through music and through voice, song. And so coming up with this set has been challenging because I have so many things I want to say. And actually to do the beginning of the show is going to be crazy. I think it's going to be like people are going to be like, what? But then going through it, I thought, but there's something missing. I need that one perfect song to connect this to this. And I couldn't find it. It was just like, oh, it's out there. It's out there. It's out there. And then I just wrote something. And literally, it came to me like a few days ago. Like I woke up with lyrics, and so I thought, well, this is crazy. No one's going to know it, but it's coming from my heart, and it's coming from my feet. It's coming from me, and if that's all I can give, because I need to do this more, but I have so much I want to share, and so it's just a little small thing, but it just. Sometimes you can't find it. You got to make it yourself.
Well, let's talk about the title, Therapy. How'd you come up with the title? And I love anybody watching this. You have got to go on the site. You've got to see the photo work. The photo you use for your ad work for Therapy is amazing. You behind that makeshift bar or whatever. Talk about that, the title and the photo shoot.
Thank you, Joe Delude, the man who created the Wicked makeup. We became really, really good friends through a Wicked tour. Yeah. And one night I was doing South Pacific at the time, actually, and he was, I can't remember where, he was up, I think at Rhode Island, maybe, staying somewhere. And I stayed with him, and one night after the show, after playing Nellie Forbush in South Pacific, we just had a photo session, and we just went crazy. And I've been wanting to get some new photos this summer, but hello, pandemic. So I was just looking at some old photos and I thought, yes, that's exactly how I feel right now. I just want to drink and eat and just, I don't know, wear crazy comfy stuff and that's my therapy right now. So that's what I need. And also I've been doing some cameo stuff, a couple of cameo things, and I've noticed that some people just need good words of advice and just some therapy. Everyone's just having such a hard time, and I get it. And people need to be continually reminded that they're not alone. Everybody's going through this together. And anything that is going to nurture you, if it's food, if it's music, if it's being outside, taking a long walk, whatever you need to do to get you through, man.
Yeah. See, that's why we started this series live during the pandemic, because fans all think that God taps you on the shoulder and says, Carmen's going to be a big star. This person's going to be a big star. But it just connects you to everybody, realizing that you're going through the same thing your fans are going through. Everyone's going through the same thing.
Yeah. So
during
true.
this time period. So it's just been really, really nice. How many musicians do you have in the show for Vegas?
I have a pianist and a bass player, an upright bass. Boop, 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 boop. So we're going to do I cannot do this show without doing some jazz, because I literally took a year out of musical theater to be a jazz singer. That's all I wanted to do for like a year. And so I did that. And then I found out that these players were like proper jazz bunnies. And I was like, yeah, okay, we're going to do a couple of fun jazz tunes. But I'm also doing some brand new music from Flying Over Sunset that no one's heard yet. And a new song from a new show that a lady maybe that you might know, Edie Brickell, wrote. And she's written a show that she wants to, when Broadway opens, it's going to be something. It's going to be an explosion, I believe. And there's just going to be so much creativity and so many people just that need to be heard.
Yeah.
That are going to take the stage.
I love the songs you've chosen already for I call it your act. I know it's a concept. I call them acts. I mean, I just figured, but it must have made you feel so good to be like, oh my God, I'm going to sing again. I haven't sung since Flying Over Sunset, shut down. And now I'm doing what I do. I'm an artist. I'm a singer. I'm a performer. That must make you feel so great, right?
Well, I'll be honest. The first couple months in quarantine.
Yeah.
Am I okay here? I don't need my glasses. I couldn't sing. I just was like, it was like something was there. It was choking me, and it was just the noise, the constant madness, and the noise, and the anger, and the confusion, and there's the feeling of helplessness, and everything just shut on me. So I went through a really several months of just not being able to hardly talk, much less sing. So I'm so grateful that this opportunity came, and I had a goal. I had something that I needed to work on. But it's also gotten me out of my head. I've been able to write a lot. So, so thank goodness my voice came back. And I'm just so excited to be able to share it again. And I, with the musicians that I'm working with, we did get a social distancing studio together, and to just have other people in the room, socially distanced, but listening and playing in real time. Was just that's been therapy for me. Just putting this show together has been therapy for me.
You're not the only person. I've spoken to a few other people who said, Richard, I just haven't been able to pull it together. It was just, we're creative people, we're heart people. And the point is, it hit them really, really hard. And they were like, I couldn't sing. I didn't want to sing, at 7:00, they bang their pots like, we still do for, everybody on the front line. They were like, it's not about me. I can't do anything else right now. I just don't have it in me.
Yeah. Yeah, and yet this is the time when we all need to share, and we all need to give what we can to each other and hold on for dear life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everyone in their own time have you're God given what He's given you with all this incredible stuff, with your talents and everything else. And now, the most soothing thing during all of this pandemic has been music. Like you said, it's the arts.
Yeah.
It's hearing words or a poem or someone singing to you, right?
Yeah. Sometimes that's all I could do for the whole day is just, Alexa, play some jazz, play some French.
My Alexa's on right now. Alexa, stop. She goes on all the time. It's so funny that she knows your voice here in New York. I think that's.
I couldn't even think of what I wanted to hear. I just say, play some music. Give me something. Yeah.
Totally. Now, Alexa, stop. She just randomly just puts stuff on. I'm like, and then she plays rock and roll. I'm like, Broadway only. I'm kidding. But I mean, now making the mask, some lucky fans who come to your show may get a mask or two. What's going to happen during the show?
I am picking randomly from a list of fans that are chiming in. I've got tie-dyed ones. Hello, tie-dye masks. I've got even some Hawaiian print. I have a Superman.
You really got that sewing machine out. You've got that pattern down, and you've gone at it, right?
That is true. But also, I've been asking my fans. It's so weird even saying that. What kind of songs do they go to as their therapy songs? And I have a few which I'm very excited about. So many people have chimed in. Can I mention a few?
Oh, yeah, please mention them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, sun is gonna shine. That's a good one. Times they are a changin'. I Am Light by India Ari for Max Scherns. Oh, I love you, Max. That's a nice one. Oh, these are some great ones. Mine are, okay, hold on. She's so gone. Lemonade Mouth. Had an unsup BF and now going to my dreams. I have no idea what that is. But I'll look it up. I will look that up. And Yusef's new version of Wild World. Lucky by Kat Edmondson. Move On by Sunday Apart with George. That's a good one. Light of a Clear Blue Morning. Yeah, there's just so many. Thanks for chiming in, y'all. Really appreciate that.
Isn't that fabulous, though? One of the positives during this pandemic for people that I've spoken to who have done virtual concerts and everything else, you have fans everywhere. You've done so many shows across the country, Melbourne, I mean, the West End. I totally forgot before I met you that you had done so much work across the pond.
Across the pond. 14 years in the West End.
That is crazy. But all your fans all around the world, or your audience, can just buy a ticket wherever they are and watch you all at the same time on Wednesday in the comfort and safety of their own home. That's got to make you feel so great during this time period.
I can't believe it. I'm very excited.
So Carmen Cusack will be live tonight, Wednesday night, December 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Space, Las Vegas, with her brand new concert called Therapy. Streaming tickets are available at BroadwayWorld events for $33.50, and there's a few live socially distanced seats available at thespacelv.com. I think that's thrilling that you're going to have the opportunity to have a few people in the house too. I think that's going to add a little extra something for you.
Yeah, I've got friends traveling from here, there, and thither. So it's going to be really nice to see them.
I want to go back to the beginning. Growing up, where did your love for performing begin? And was there a defining moment for you when you said, I want to be a performer and try to make a living at this?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it probably started in church. I know it started in church. I was singing at 5 years old for congregations, and very, very shy otherwise, just an incredibly shy girl. But when they push me onto that stage and I would open my mouth, it just felt like I found home. And singing from a spiritual place, allowing my heart to open in that way, it just took all of the fears away. And that was my comfy spot, is being able to sing to people and realizing that it moved people. So I would listen to Aretha. I would listen to, gospel singers just constantly. Sandy Patty was one of my girls that I used to listen to and sang a lot of her stuff. And then as I got a bit older, all I wanted to do was just Whitney Houston. I just wanted to be her backing vocalist. I just adored her. Nina Simone. It just constant. And then, gosh, Joni Mitchell came into the picture. Brandi Carlile is one of my go-tos. Eva Cassidy, wow. Donny Hathaway. Should we have another half an hour? But
totally. And was there a defining moment for you when you said, I want to be a performer?
My defining moment when I wanted to, gosh. Yeah, I guess I think it became very clear in high school. I think it was the first show that I ever did. It was called A Mall and the Night Visitors. You ever heard of that?
Oh, yes.
It was a kind of an operetta piece, and it was in high school. And of all things that for a high school to do, I think I was a freshman, and I did that, and I played this mother part. And so I connecting the music to acting, and I thought, oh, well, let's see. So that just really opened a whole other ball game, and that's when I really decided, oh, okay, we can do this, and we can do it all together. This is fun, and I think that was kind of my defining moment back in freshman in high school with them all and the Night Visitors.
I love that. We started talking early on that, I totally forgot that you had this whole other career, in London and Melbourne and everything else. So before you made your Broadway debut, so what was it like living in the worlds of Christine in The Phantom of the Opera and Fantine in Les Mis? Those are your first big worlds that you lived in.
Yes. And it's crazy. When I got that job, I had not seen the show. I think I mentioned this on my live album. I had not seen a musical. So I showed up to a cattle call and sang. I said, but I know that song. I know that music. So I showed up to the cattle call, sang the song, and they asked me to come back the next day to do sides. But they asked me, to come and see the show as well. So I got to see the show for the first time. It was just like mind blowing. And then it scared the crap out of me. So I thought, what the hell, in front of all these people? What if I'm crazy? So I got that job. And literally during that contract, when I was about to end the contract, there was an audition for Les Mis, but they were looking for a cassette. And I just thought, well, I don't necessarily want to get boxed into this one way of singing. So I decided to just kind of do something crazy and throw a little spanner in the works. And I sang a Whitney Houston belt song. And then all of a sudden, the MD from Les Mis said, wait a minute, whoa, she can belt? So then they wanted to see me for Fantine stuff, but they said, we don't have a role for you. The role isn't available right now, but we can slot you into the first understudy. So I went from Christine Daae literally that weekend, finishing that weekend and starting rehearsals the next Monday as Fantine understudy. And then they gave me the role the next contract. So.
What was your ensemble role in Les Mis called? Did she have a name, or was your first track?
Oh, I was a triangle girl. I was triangle. Does that ring a bell?
I think so.
I just remember being a triangle, and I swang as well. I swang. I was swing on my first job ever in Phantom of the Opera was understudy Christine, and then they moved me into the role like a few months later, and then, but I had to play triangle girl. Yeah, I remember playing that triangle. Yeah.
I love that. That's hysterical. And then there's the amazing world of Wicked and that role of Elphaba. I mean, do you remember the first time you were green and you saw yourself in the mirror?
Oh yeah, I remember like hardly being able to breathe. I just thought, and it was, of course, a last minute thing. I had just done my first dress run that day. And all of a sudden, the girl went out. Who was it? Dee? I think it was Dee Hoadie. Not Dee Hoadie. But
Dee Hoadie loves you. Dee Hoadie's Bright Star.
Yeah. Anyway, she couldn't do it that night. So literally, I had done one dress run, and then I had to do it in front of an audience that very night. So that was kind of nerve wracking. But that's the gig.
I've spoken to a lot of alphabets, and they're like, it's frightening. They were like, it's a rake stage. Shoshana, I remember Shoshana telling me she opened the door, she comes out with a suitcase and flew right into that netting into the orchestra. I mean, she went right down.
Oh, no.
She said, I slid Richard and kept going. And then, Glinda lifts me out like it's my first day of school. They made it a bit, but it's like, did you have any mishaps during Wicked?
That's a great story. Well, I can tell you this mishap, which of course wasn't really on me, but it was pretty darn funny. Because when Glinda comes up on the bubble in the very first scene, and she's talking to everyone and singing her song, and I'm backstage, and I can see her shadow from the fly.
Yeah.
So I'm back there holding my suitcase, and all of a sudden, the next thing I know, I hear people laughing and her go, oh. And then the next thing I know is she's got her wig stuck on the top of her wand. It was Katie Rose Clark had accidentally pulled her wig, gotten her wand stuck on her wig. And here it was at the top of this. And so trying to run in and sing Wizard and I, holding back the tears of laughter was pretty challenging. That's the one thing that comes to mind. When you told me this story about the running in the suitcase, that's what I came up with.
Live theater. A lot of the Glindas have told me that the bubble doesn't go up. And they were like, at the end, the stagehands came out and had us like move it on up or whatever. They were like, okay.
Oh, well, yeah. You just got to make it work.
I love that, though. Broadway debuts are very special, and there were many people who were supposed to make their Broadway debuts this spring, and then the pandemic hit. And like you said, when the theater comes back, and it's going to explode, it's going to be gorgeous when it comes back. I hope these people get to make their debuts. Yours Broadway debut was a glorious debut as Alice Murphy in the Steve Martin, Edie Brickell musical on Bright Star. What do you remember about that opening night, and what did that role in that show mean to you?
Well, I had been working with Steve and Edie for, about 4 years on and off with the various workshops. So I had been waiting for this night all my life. And the song, If You Knew My Story, I so connected to that in such a raw way. So I had been waiting for that for 4 years, for that night. And I thought I would just be so nervous. I thought I wouldn't, all the things that you think, and sometimes, they do happen. You get nervous and it all goes, it doesn't go great. But it was the most calm. It was the most calm I think I've ever been. The most calm was the Tonys. After I'd done it several times, and I thought I would be so nervous, but that was probably the most calm I've ever been. It just felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this song is, and this role, and having all these wonderful people, the whole entire cast, they're all my family. We're all family, and we always will be. They're just my heart. Everyone in that show, and we just have this connection that you can't put into words. And to have all of that love surrounding me at that time is just, you can't put that into words.
Yeah. Well, we all fell in love with you. You know that. I've told you this many times. I mean, what a glorious, stunning Broadway debut you made. I loved Bright Star. I saw Bright Star like 6 times. I would just think, you want to come back? I'd be like, yeah, I'll go back to Bright Star and just go on this incredible journey. And you were just so wonderful in that show.
Thank you so much. It was a good time.
Yeah. How much of a dream role was playing Marie and Dot in Sunday in the Park with George opposite Jason Dannelly?
Yes. Well, he is just a ray of sunshine. And he was such a wonderful, wonderful man to work with. And I never thought I'd get to play that role. I kind of looked at it from afar and thought, God, it's such a fun role. I don't know if I'll ever get to play it. And then all of a sudden the opportunity came. And Gary Griffith directed it and just did such a beautiful job with it. I remember very specifically every weekend having to go to New York to get fitted for this mechanical dress that I thought would probably never work. And it worked every single night. It never faltered. It was, So yeah, the costumers on that just were brilliant. And I think what I love the most is playing 92 years old, playing Marie. She was just my favorite role.
Yeah. You know, everything you've done is different. It's so funny. You look at certain people's the shows they do, and some like, oh, some people sort of do the same type of roles. Everything you've chosen is different. If you notice throughout your career, was that something
Yeah.
you go after?
I don't know if it's something I go after. I guess I'm a little bit. I am self-prescribed ADD, so I can't stay still with any one particular thing. And you'll see in my show, it's just all sorts of stuff of interesting material and things that you haven't heard of. But I'll give you something. I'll give you a little tidbit of something that you need, and it's just what I can't, I don't know how. I sing, I trained in opera, I trained in gospel. I trained in gospel
Yeah.
from at 5 years old. And I love all sorts of music. And luckily I have a voice that, I can go through things, I can do the different styles. And I enjoy that. It keeps me interested. So hopefully it won't make other people crazy. Hopefully they'll come on the journey with me and be as interested.
No, that's what I love when I was researching you all over again. I'm like, she's done everything from Lloyd Webber to Sondheim to rock to everything to gospel.
Yeah.
Your voice just changes with the material.
Thank you.
Which is very hard to do because most people say this is how I sing, but you don't. You go on this whole other journey with a role.
Well, I find, and maybe it's just the way my voice is made, but I find that if I stay in this one pocket, my voice doesn't like it. Like it needs to. I know I was born like a coloratura. That's my vocal situation, and I learned that from training in opera. And coloraturas are known for flitting high and then hitting really low, big notes, down note, and they're also known for a good chest voice. So that's been very helpful. But I don't like to do one thing constantly because my voice doesn't like to sit in one place constantly. It gets tired.
I just love it, from Christine Daae to Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
And everything in between. We have to talk about Flying Over Sunset. I mean, you knew the day I was with you all in the rehearsal studio. I cannot wait to see that show. I mean, that was one of the biggest disappointments.
I can't wait to see it either.
It's the Tom Kitt. It's Michael Corey wrote the musical. It's directed by James Lapine. I mean, talk about your cast members too. I mean, talk about who you were starring opposite.
Oh my God. Well, we've got Jesus Christ. No, I'm sorry. We got Harry. We have Tony Rasbeck and Rob Seller.
Oh yeah.
And
fabulous cast.
Adore them all.
Doesn't matter. Everybody knows who was in this show. They're going to all come back in the show. But what was it like creating a musical with them and working with director James Lapine?
Well, I thought it was going to be a little bit nerve-wracking because I'd heard stories of various people, and how they can be and how rocky a whole process can be at times, when you're trying to do something brand new and you have to go through just a lot of stuff to get there. But this was incredibly calming. James Lapine was incredibly calming and incredibly nurturing for me, to all of us. I think he always created this place of calm and collaborative energy, and we would always start the day doing planks and just kind of running around and warming up and hugging each other, and it just started from a place of love and warmth and good vibes, and that has continued. We continue to stay close. Our cast on a regular basis gets together, Zooms. We've done Zoom mystery nights. I've hosted a murder mystery thing. We've done treasure hunts on Zoom. We've even done a cooking show on Zoom. His daughter Phoebe Lapine has quite a following with her cooking prowess. And so she got on one time and taught us how to cook dinner together. It's just been this. When I even think about the day when we will come back together and I will see these people, I cry. Just the thought of it just does something to my heart. And I really can't wait to see them all. Ah!
I didn't mean to make you cry. It's just feeling the same thing. But it was so wonderful to watch the uniqueness of when James spoke that day about how this whole brand new musical is being put together. And like I said, you have Tom Kitt and Michael Corey, two of the best writers creating this musical with you all. And tell our audience who you play and who the gentlemen play.
I play Claire Booth Luce. Tony Yazbek plays
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant, thank you. Oh, you're gonna have to help me with these. Aldous Huxley. Harry plays Aldous Huxley, and there's one more character. Rob Seller plays the guy who wrote the book, Aldous Huxley wrote the book, Brave New World. And there's this other character. Oh my God!
Doesn't matter. All the fans watching, they all know. You'll have a rehearsal before you go back. Don't you worry about it.
That's my memory. But we all get together and experience LSD a couple times, and what's beautiful about it is we all start to understand what connects us all, what connects us as human beings, and so that's the thing that people are going to take away, especially when we come back. I'm looking
at your cast up now, just so you know. I'm on the phone right now.
Thank you.
Let's see. Now, who does Robert Seller play in this? Let's see. We're going to figure this. Oh my God! I've got my friend Jeremy is in this, and Erica is in this. Oh my gosh, everybody's in this, right? But I mean, I want to ask you about. You've done some film and television too. I mean, but you got to co-star opposite Tom Hanks in one of my favorite films, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, playing Margie. I mean, I was brought up on Mr. Rogers. I watched it religiously, and I just found out you did too, right?
He was, because my grandma and grandpa. Well, my parents were very young when I was born, so my grandma and grandpa looked after me at a young age, and I would come home from school, and that was like a father figure to me, you know. He would take me on field trips and he would talk to me, look in that camera and make me feel like I was important. And I think everyone felt that way that saw it, that watched him.
But now here you were. So the character you play, Margie, she's the producer of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, the last name, what is her last name?
You know this. Her last name is Whitmer.
And what was your family's last name?
My dad's name is Whitmer.
I found this out, and I was like, "How surreal is that?"
Very surreal. And we become really good friends from that movie. We stay in touch, and she's coming to see Flying Over Sunset as soon as we get back up and running. She's a beautiful woman, and I still, can't believe that I did that movie. It was my first movie, and my first scene in it was, and I get the last line of the movie, and the first day of production, they give me the last scene to do. So literally, makeup. Hello, Tom. Okay, let's do this. Crazy.
What was it like sharing the screen with Tom Hanks and just working with him?
Well, incredibly, he's just got this calm way about him. He's just a normal dude. And it's the things that you get, that you come with these ideas of what something's going to be. And you just got to put it to one side and look at these people. They're all just trying to get on with it, And I could see him like struggling with little things here and there, and just thinking, "Oh my God, Tom Hanks, okay, I can do this." It made me he put me at ease.
But it must have been so great though, because you were actually on the actual set of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, right?
Yes, and he would morph into Mr. Rogers. It was just the weirdest thing. He was perfect.
But that must have been crazy for you, like to have been brought up on this. Then you get to play this role, and you're actually in the TV studio, the actual TV studio where Mr. Rogers, who used to watch on television, you're
I
there.
know. I know. I couldn't believe it. I was like sitting there with my phone, just desperate to take photos. Just like a child in a candy store, you know, but on the Mr. Rogers actual set. It was crazy. And then the little choo-choo train comes along and into that land. It just felt like a dream.
Now, were you doing a musical at the time? You were doing a show when you had to do a Skype audition or something? Like, what was your callback for the
Yeah.
movie? How did you do it?
I had to do, it was Limpica. We were at the Williamstown Theater Festival. It was we had like 3 days to tech, like a mammoth, like almost 3-hour musical. It was absolutely nuts. And during that tech, I was in massive 1940s makeup, like lashes up here, lashes down here, and 1940s. I looked like a crazy person up close. And I had to literally stop for this callback and just thought, I'm never going to get this job. I'm never going to get this job. And then I got it. So crazy.
Wow. Did you originally read for another role in this?
I did. Yes, I read for Matthew Reese's boss of the editing and the editor of the magazine that he was working for. And then they gave me this other role. And then this other role was just always working with Tom Hanks, which I guess I wouldn't have had that opportunity to actually work with Tom Hanks had I gotten the other role. So I felt very lucky.
See, if you hadn't had that makeup on from the other show and done it like that, because they probably recognized you and said, oh, wait a minute, she looks like this other role. She could be Margie.
Well, I thought my tone got a little bit quirkier because I'm looking at myself in the camera and thinking, God, you look so crazy and quirky. So I kind of went in a slightly different, quirkier way. And we talked about it. I said, I got this little quirky thing going on that I want to try and throw at you and see what happens. And it landed me that other role. So.
That's incredible. It's such a beautiful movie. You are so wonderful in this.
Thank you so much.
Did you, I love to talk to stage actors. Did you grasp the art of movie making or camera making right away? Or did you sort of look around? But I know the first day on the set, you had to do your final line, you had to shoot right away.
Yes, my final line I had to shoot right away. But luckily, it wasn't having to work with looking at the camera or doing any. It was really to do with just saying the lines, getting everybody. It's basically like a manager saying, "Okay, everybody, tomorrow we're done for the day. Tomorrow we're going to be here, there, and there, and we need you here at this time." So it was more of a voiceover. But then you do, I'd have to see the movie again. But I don't think I do any major camera work on that last scene. But no, it was a real kind of learn as you go kind of thing. I was frightening as heck. But like I said, I was surrounded by a couple of really lovely people that just made me feel relaxed and just kind of walked me through it and were gracious to me. And I love actors. Yeah. Actors are good people.
There's so many great theater actors in that movie too.
Yes, there are.
I mean, I look through the roster. I mean, anybody watching this, just go to Wikipedia, bring up the cast of the film. It's all stage actors. I mean, it must be so great to be on a set because there's nothing better than stage actors because they know what they do. They know their lines. They know their stuff. They find their mark and they do it.
Yeah. I just, every time I'd walk on set, I'd just be pinching myself saying, whoa, wait a minute. You're on this too?
But wow, what a way to make your film debut opposite Tom Hanks.
Crazy.
Not a small independent movie like Tom Hanks.
I know, right? Now I need to go backwards. I need to rewind and do some independent stuff, learn a bit more.
Yeah. We have performers of every age watching this from all around the world. And I have to ask you about auditioning. Are you a good auditioner? Were you always good at it? What's your technique to a good audition?
Oh, gosh. Confidence. I had a lot more confidence in my 20s. I used to love auditioning in my 20s. But maybe that's a good thing because in your 20s, you don't know what you're doing. So confidence gets you a long way. Cockiness gets you a long way. And the older you get, the more insecure you get, but then you have the experience behind you. So it all kind of evens out. And
So,
I still, I mean, I honestly, I feel very grateful right now because I can actually send taped auditions, so I can be in charge, and I don't have people, strange, strangers that I haven't met before in the room, having to deal with that vibe and dealing with the nerves of that. So I'm kind of embracing this auditioning at home stuff. It's
well, let's
great.
talk about that. Have you and your husband set up a certain part of your home that you do like, is our self-tape there? I love, no, I see, I love your sheet or whatever it is, or your beautiful drape. There was like, pick a neutral color, pick a seafoam, pick a light so and so. It's like,
Always help. We got a few different colors that we change in and out depending on the vibe, the tone.
but it's so interesting though, because I've told people, I said, it's got to be easier because you're like, oh, I screwed that up. Let me do this again, or I can do this again, as opposed to that one shot in an audition room where you're like, thank you very much. Don't call us, we'll call you.
Right? Yeah.
So, but it's so weird. It's the whole new now. Everyone's doing self-tapes and everything else from home. This is what it is.
Yeah, and maybe that'll be what we continue with. It's cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there a dream role from an iconic musical, like from years ago, that you'd want to sink your teeth into at some point, Carmen? Is there something you'd like to tackle from the golden age of musicals?
Oh gosh. Well, I've been asked this so many times and I never have the same answer because there's just so many things. And I usually say it's yet to come, that role. But I will say, as a kid, I always want to do Calamity Jane. I don't know if that's ever going to come back.
It should. You are perfect for that.
Oh, you're sweet. But I don't know, just the being able to be kind of tomboyish but then, be able to just have fun, just to have those two, I don't know, Doris Day, just, she got me going in this whole thing. I loved her.
Did she? So were you brought up on like movie musicals in between the Joni Mitchells and all the Sandy Patty and everybody else? Were there musicals that you listened to?
Well, I have to be honest, we didn't really get to see a lot of musical theater on stage because my family didn't have that kind of money. But, every Saturday we'd watch an old, TCM or, one of those channels that would play these old musicals. And I wouldn't say that I loved all of them, but I had a few that I really did enjoy. And Calamity Jane was one of those that I just really connected to. I connected to her spontaneity and her just kind of rough and ready and her uncouthness, that role. I totally connected to all of that because I consider myself a bit of a tomboy myself and always doing the wrong thing and saying the wrong thing all the time.
It's a perfect musical. You should also look at Wildcat. That was the Lucille Ball musical that you did on Broadway.
Okay.
Cyclone, Carolyn Lee. Again, tomboyish, comes with her sister to come, to strike oil or whatever else. It's a really fun musical. Hey, Look Me Over is from that. It's a fun musical. So if you want to put some blue jeans on and a denim shirt, look at Wildcat too.
I'll look it up. Okay, thanks for that.
So what are you looking forward to the most with your concert? And your Vegas debut? What are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of really good friends that are traveling for quite a distance to come for this social distancing thing. I'm also looking forward to being able to connect with people that can't come to see shows, can't come to see the liveness of things. And even I've got people from Asia and all over the country that have not actually ever been able to see me in a show, in a live situation. And so I think that's a really cool thing to be able to do, to be able to connect to them during this time.
Yeah. It's almost December 1st. So what are you the most thankful for this holiday season?
I'm most oh gosh, my husband, love, and I'm thankful that we're going to see the end of the madness of this presidency situation. I'm thankful that we're going to see a change. And I'm thankful that that we've had the time to think about what needs to be changed. we've had the time to get angry in a good way and to share our stories about what kind of changes need to take place and why. We've had the time to really connect in that way. And I've had the time to do my own research and my own learning and understand where how I fit into how we make change.
So beautifully put. I have wanted to sit with you for the longest time. Like I said, we all fell in love with you during Bright Star, and I've watched your career in New York, everything you've tackled and everything you've done. So this is a dream for me to sit with you today.
Thank you, Richard. It's a dream to see your beautiful face again.
Well, listen, you have the best time in Vegas. I know where I'm going to be Wednesday night. I'm going to be at the Space Las Vegas. Everybody, until we see you again, stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, and happy holidays, everybody.
Wear a mask. Happy holidays.
I want one of your masks. Happy holidays, everyone.